Good morning and aloha, everybody. Happy New Year. Let me clarify just a couple of things. Exceptional helicopter, maybe not. I was just lucky and privileged, and timing had a lot to do with that. And I wasn't so much the guy in charge of putting on the commemoration for the attack on Oahu 75 years later. Admiral Fargo was. I was just the guy that Admiral Fargo directed to get the work done. So I just wanted to make that point of clarity. First of all, welcome. And welcome to the third conference in a series of conferences. We believe that this one is going to be, we always try and strive to be better, and we think we've retooled this conference just a little bit more to bring what we think is going to be a valuable day, and it is Saturday, so we have to, again, we'll just wait for that to stop for a second. Got to compete. But we want to make it better, and the fact that if you look around you, this crowd coming out on a Saturday morning, not only with a epic golf tournament happening just down the street and 2 football games starting later, this really is the testament, and I don't know why it's always this week, but it is. All of us are going to be checking the NFL mobile app, I think, as the day goes on for those NFL fans out there. But for all of us at the Education Institute of Hawaii, the word school empowerment, and we've been battling and throwing this term, this phrase around for quite some time, and it is more than just that. And it permeates really the heart of why we stay committed, the mission that we have as the Institute. And it really does mean something different, I think, to all of us. I mean, if you put all of us in a room collectively, we all might have a different view, different meaning, especially in those that are in the school leadership role, of what does school empowerment really mean? Some might even ask us, why are you such advocates for school empowerment? Our schools are already empowered, and that might be true in some instances. I had the opportunity and privilege to spend the morning with some middle school, elementary school principals over the holidays, and as I watched just the school leadership going through what is going to be the blueprint for the governor's ESSA plan, the strategic plan that the DOE just rolled out. It still occurred to me, though, that in listening to these school leaders, that not everybody might understand what school empowerment really means, and we hope that through the course of this day, we can continue to refine what that really means, what it means for Hawaii. There was a pervasive, perhaps, philosophy that in some of our schools, and we are either the 9th or 10th largest district, 257 schools, and we take the charter schools, private schools, some folks just put their head down and say, you know what, I'm just going to be a good soldier and execute. And that's not school empowerment. That's not what we believe as the Institute, how we want to take our mission forward and advocate for what we believe is the way that we are going to deliver education in the state of Hawaii. Our goal is to help and provide a deeper understanding that when we advocate for school empowerment, we are describing the vision for our education system that is founded on the values and beliefs that the student truly comes first, that student, that learner, is the geographic center, that center of gravity, that all of the concentric circles that emanate from that center of gravity have a role of support in that student and in that learner. And that's what we advocate, that's what we champion, that's what we day-to-day fight, challenge each other to come up with better ways to do this so that we can take the school empowerment and the philosophy of school empowerment forward in the state of Hawaii. School empowerment is something that I think when we achieve that in a system and make it systemic, everybody will stop and say, wow, why didn't we think of this before? And I think we have. How do we implement it? How do we execute it? How do we make it, I guess, systemic in a delivery system? As we go through some of the, what I would call, or we used to call in my prior life, the sausage making. In other words, how do you get this to come to fruition? How do we execute our plan? How do we deliver our plan? There's a lot of folks that add value and input to the Institute when we meet a lot. And even in some of the more challenging discussions that we've had, where you're almost sometimes ready not to give up, but just you get frustrated. We entertained a group of students from the School of Education from University of Hawaii. And they were so motivated with the work that we are doing and have done that they sat with us. And as we were, they witnessed some of that sausage making, if you will, and they implored us not to give up. In other words, that think tank, the things that were coming out of what we wanted to go forward with, gave them hope. And that is what motivated us to keep going. That is what motivates us to keep doing these kinds of conferences on a Saturday, so that we can take that and bring it forward. To start off, we've got a long day for you, and you'll see that we've retooled the breakout sessions just a little differently. But first of all, I need to introduce our president, and somebody that I've been glued to the side of since we've started this, and there's many people in this room that have been here since the beginning. But she was a high school English teacher. She teacher at Whiteout High School. She served as the principal at Waianae High School, and she's moved on to become the superintendent of the Oakland Unified School District. Please welcome, and help me welcome, with a warm aloha, our president of the Institute, Roberta Mayor.
I am extremely delighted, as the president of the Education Institute of Hawaii, to welcome all of you on this Saturday, and thank you for giving up your valuable weekend activities. Our theme today is Leading, Teaching, and Learning in the Age of Innovation. And we hope that you will take away new ideas about how we can empower our schools and promote innovation. During the last 2 years, EIH has worked to be a significant catalyst for change in Hawaii's education system, bringing to Hawaii many thought-provoking educational leaders and speakers to raise our communal perceptions of the possibilities that exist for providing a better educational system for our children in Hawaii. We have conducted several public surveys on education and shared research studies to raise awareness of the conditions in our schools. We have sponsored dozens of screenings of educational documentaries to spark dialogue on what might be possible in empowered schools, and to raise the expectations of Hawaii's community for greater quality. Early in the last year, EIH also initiated and hosted several community town hall meetings to excite our schools and communities about the unprecedented opportunity that the change in the new federal law, the Every Student Succeeds Act, provided to all the states, challenging us to take responsibility and accountability for education, and to depart from the federal government's failed one-size-fits-all notions of how instruction must take place in every state and at every school. We have not wavered in our efforts to empower our schools. Our constant refrain has been that instructional decisions need to be made by the practitioners closest to our children. The school, community, and classroom are where the real work of education occurs. And we are thrilled about the state's blueprint for education developed by the governor's hardworking volunteer ESSA task force and its support of empowered schools. We are hoping also to soon work with the DOE to conduct a fiscal transparency study to better understand how we manage our education resources. EIH will continue to advocate for our schools and our children, seeking the best work and effort that adults in the system can provide. I cannot thank the members of the EIH board and the advisory council enough for their committed and supportive volunteer efforts that make all of our EIH activities and research studies possible. And just as important is the response from all of you to our conferences and town hall meetings, which multiply our efforts 1,000-fold. Thank you to all of you here today, participants and volunteers. All of us together can ensure that Hawaii's children are provided with a quality education in a healthy and nurturing environment. I am extremely optimistic. We are this close to making real significant steps, taking real significant steps to making our vision more of a reality. It is time to turn our educational system the right side up. Enjoy your time with us today. Thank you.